What the So, I had Breaking Dawn for my book, and wow, what a messed up book. I hadn't read any of the other ones, so I decided to read the last one because I thought it'd be funny. It's awful. It's honestly the worst idea ever. Um, the book kind of goes a little like this. So there's this girl named Bella. She's married to this guy named Edward, who's a vampire. Well, they go on a honeymoon, and Bella gets a little trigger happy, gets pregnant. The vampire decides that this half vampire, half human monstrosity is going to kill all the vampires in the world when it's grown up. The werewolves decide the same thing's going to happen, so they decide to kill the baby. Jacob, who's this hot werewolf that doesn't want to kill the baby or Bella because he's in love with both of them, decides that he needs to save them. So they all go out and they find this other guy who's half vampire, half human, and never killed anyone and wasn't a monstrosity to the world. Then they live happily ever after, I guess. Yeah. Confused? Yeah, me too. I just don't get it. I don't get why. I don't get how. I don't get any of it. I don't get how Bella, who seems to be a completely attention-needy, love-craving, crazy hormonal teenager, can fall in love with a vampire who's like 700 and some years old. I don't understand how they can get married. I don't understand how they can get pregnant. I don't understand how they can honeymoon in the Bahamas because there's sun and I thought vampires burnt in the sun. I don't get how werewolves hate vampires. I don't get how any of this works, but apparently it does. I'm going to identify and kind of break down, in my opinion, the three main characters because they're the most significant to the book, obviously, but at the same time, they're the dumbest part. Like, honestly, they are retarded. I can't say that. Mrs. Means will get really mad. So there's Bella, and she's the main character. The book is written through her point of view. She's very confused. She's very attention needy. She's very immature. She's very hasty. She's not happy. She's like depressed. She's bouncing off the walls with emotion. She just seems like a trashy girl. Not trashy, but very... She doesn't know who she is yet, and you can tell. And she feels as if having boys surround her with attention helps. For some reason, she's attracted to a mythological creature. I don't understand that. That's just weird. If that's a turn on to you, I think you need to get yourself checked. She, in the earlier books, jumped around, apparently, from Edward to Jacob to Edward to Jacob, because she's kind of a whore. She is constantly, I love you, but go away. And I don't get it. And then, at the same time, she's like, I love you, don't leave me. And it's stupid and confusing and annoying. And I don't see how anyone in their right minds would find this stuff romantic. She makes a lot of hasty decisions and doesn't think things through very well. She just seems like her hormones have completely overwhelmed her and blocked her sense of logical thought. Edward Cullen. He is the second main character in the book, and he's Bella's husband. He's a vampire who's like 700 and some years old, but always in a 17-year-old's body because that's when he was turned into a vampire. So they don't physically change after that point, so he's always going to be a 17-year-old. He's a lot like Bella in the fact that he's hasty on decisions. He seems to be emotionally unstable. He seems to only like Bella or love Bella because it's worth saying, oh, I'm in love with someone. He kind of rushed into the marriage, and he doesn't seem to take time to decide things. He just kind of goes into them. He's kind of bullheaded and won't allow certain things to happen no matter what, and he won't compromise with things. He's protective, though, and I like that about him. He always protects Bella no matter what, even though half the time it's his fault she's in trouble, but he's willing to do anything to make sure she comes out of danger okay. He's an alright character. He's not as confusing as Bella or Jacob, but at the same time I feel like half the reason he only really likes Bella is just because she's the only one that doesn't run away from him because he's a vampire and sparkles like glitter in the sun, shirtless, with his abs and his pale, pale body glimmering everywhere, all over. So yeah, he's an alright character, but at the same time he's a little bit off. So, last but not least, we come to Jacob Black, who is probably the mildest of all characters in this book of the three main ones. He is a werewolf in a clan, the Black clan, and he is in love with Bella, but at the same time isn't, and is angry at her, but is always in love with her. And that's just another part of the confusing, romantic part of this book. He seems kind of uncontrollable and filled with rage, and feels like he can just take on the world, and it's just all that testosterone pumping through his abbed body that he just can't handle. He decides to break off from his clan with some of his buddies, his werewolf buddies, and try and protect Bella from being destroyed from this vampire council, and that's admirable of him, but at the same time he does it because he feels like it'll win Bella back because he's in love with her, but really he just likes winning her as a prize from Edward because it makes him feel really, really special inside, I guess, because he honestly is so mean to this girl half the time, it's ridiculous. He isn't as involved in this book apparently as he was in the other ones, but he's definitely still in there. He's a dynamic character still. He adds to the story and the movie because he's a babe. Whether you be Team Jacob or Team Edward or Team I don't give a mother trucking shnikey, you walk away from the book knowing that it ended well, even though you really don't see how the problem started in the first place. It was put together well, it was written well, and you could tell that Stephenie Meyer had a lot of hard struggles to come over while writing it, because it really is a confusing book to even the people that try to understand it as best they can. It's a confusing storyline, and I don't think anybody will truly understand it other than her. You come away from the book, I think everyone in the world has their own opinion about it, as similar as they might be. I'm sure everyone has a tweaked opinion a little bit about it, but it's an alright book, I guess. Probably a little bit overblown with the hype, and it definitely made vampires and werewolves seem real to people, I guess. But hey, what are you gonna do? So, thanks for watching. If you didn't like this video because it was really long and repetitive and confusing, so was the book. So there you go. You got to go through a little bit of what I got to go through on break.